As the technician has programmed it, go ahead and try it. It's not turning over. Alrighty guys, today is the day. Guess what we're doing? We got the Lamborghini on the trailer, all strapped up, ready to go, headed straight to Lamborghini, got the key fob that we got from Italy in the mail, and hopefully this thing starts for the very first time. Now there's a couple of things that Lamborghini, when we called them, told us. We have to make sure the seats are in there, the door panels are there, and the front bumper doesn't matter, but the pyrotechnic fuse has to be replaced. Now we've already done the pyrotechnic fuse, and all my life I've never seen door panels and seats correlate with not being able to program a key. But what we did, we stopped by Eric, the upholstery shop, picked up the seats from him. He was in the mid-progress of getting them done actually, and he was waiting on the thread to come in, a special kind of thread, especially for the seat airbag. That way it deploys again during an impact. And we picked him up, we plugged him in. That way, Lamborghini's all satisfied. Now, the hardest thing is Lamborghini's parking lot's very tight. So we're gonna have to make one 90-degree turn and another 90-degree turn right into the back of their bay. And hopefully we can get the trailer into their bay, because the technician was very skeptical on the fact that hopefully his computer can reach it to be able to program a key for us. So, a lot of stuff at risk here. What if the car doesn't start? What if they can't program a key for us? I guess you guys will find out as we head over to Lamborghini. Alrighty guys, the technician has programmed it. Go ahead and try it. It's not turning over. Still nothing. So thanks to Lamborghini Charlotte, the car wasn't starting twice. We tried to bypass the pyro fuse thinking there's something wrong with it, and the starter wire wasn't connected. Jeez. Hopefully it starts now. All right, go ahead. So we got the Lamborghini on the trailer, and right ahead of us we got a Ferrari dealership. Let's swing by and check out some Ferraris. Alrighty guys, we made it home, and I couldn't film too much of this stuff because while we were at Lamborghini, the technician was working and he didn't feel comfortable being recorded, so therefore we just wanted to respect him. Got it all done. You guys saw the startup in it, and the first two times the starter cable was disconnected on the pyro fuse. So when I put that together, I accidentally forgot to put that because I had to put all the cables over to the side. The battery was in the way, so one of the cables got behind the battery, which we couldn't see. Therefore, it wasn't getting enough power to the starter. But the car starts, it runs, and man, now we got to figure out a way to get this thing off this trailer. And my trailer does tilt down, as you guys have seen in other videos. Let's go ahead and work on getting this thing down and see if this thing drives for its very first time. Really good.
That sounds nice.
And that was in Corsa mode. So did you notice when I flipped it? Well, you didn't see me flip the switch, but when I flipped the switch into Corsa, did you notice the revs went up higher automatically? And
yeah,
then when I blipped the throttle, it was a whole different animal. Wow.
That sounds nice.
It runs, it drives. The front lift works as well. So I lifted up the front end with the switch. I don't know if you saw it go up or down, but it was.
Oh, I did not. I was too like worried, just making sure that it got off the trailer without hitting.
This thing's pretty low. Look at this. Like almost to your hip.
Yeah, it is low.
Man. Well, let's get starting and figure out what else we got to do with this thing.
What's the next step?
To be honest, I don't know. I was just so happy that this thing ran and drove.
That was the big step, was getting the key and programmed and seeing if it even starts or runs or if the engine's not seized.
The first 2 tries literally scared me when it was like clicking and not wanting to turn over. I was like, oh God, hopefully we don't have a seized motor.
No.
So one thing I actually noticed was when I got out of the car, that wheel is actually straight. So if you look at the angle of the wheel, that wheel looks straight. When you come over to the passenger side, doesn't it look like we're towed in a little bit?
It does.
So we might have some more suspension damage on this. Maybe a tie rod, maybe a control arm. I don't know. From the looks of it, looks like maybe a tie rod. So we'll take a look at that once we get this thing all torn apart. But I really want to get this on that side so we can get this thing on the lift. That way we can check underneath it, because we haven't even seen underneath the car how it looks. What's leaking, if there's a cracked transmission, cracked engine block that we don't know about. I mean, there's a lot of still stuff that's undiscovered. So let's go ahead and get this thing on the lift. I think that's the next best idea. Put it up in the air and see everything underneath it and how it looks. This battery sucks. Oh.
What a fancy seat for a fancy
So
car.
comfortable, very comfortable. Now we did have this tire on the passenger side towed in a little bit compared to that one over there. So let's go ahead and see if we can spot the damage. And right away, I see it. This inner and outer tie rod is bent. As you can see, when that wheel got hit from the little impact that I had, looks like it bent the first weakest point, and that weakest point is that little rod that goes there and there. So we're gonna go ahead and replace the outer and also the inner. The inner one still looks good, but just in case, we're just gonna go ahead and replace both of them. Not that hard to do. And go ahead and get that done. As for this side, you can see over here, the gap looks a lot bigger between that and the knuckle. Take a look at how close this one is to the knuckle. So it's definitely the bent outer tie rod. And that would make sense, because if the tie rod is bent outer, this is what it's gonna do. It's gonna go ahead and get that wheel, camber it in, well, tow it in, and that one over there straight. So outer tie rod in, we're just gonna go ahead and replace the whole assembly. I wanna make sure everything passes alignment on this car and make sure everything's solid. All right, so let's take a look underneath this car. Everything so far looks good. No damages underneath here. This is very clean. Obviously, that's an inspection panel of some sort. Looks like there might be coolant lines and stuff like that that run there. No leaks whatsoever. Everything on here looks good. All factory seam sealed. Very clean underneath. On this side, everything's looking good as well. That's your lift point here. There's another one there. And there's one here and one there, just in case anyone else wants to lift up a Lamborghini Huracan. Transmission, well, no, that's not the transmission. This is the engine. The belt is right there, very easy. The panel comes right off, easy to change. Very nice and clean, no leaks whatsoever. Suspension's looking good over here. Everything on this car is looking solid. You can still see how it says stuck. So whatever they used, man, that was some strong stuff. But this is PPF'd. The whole front end is. So we're gonna go ahead and have this hood eventually re-PPF'd. Same with that fender. And that way this whole front end and that bumper is gonna be all protected. Dang, take a look at what just came in. We got our tie rod already in, so we can go ahead and fix the front end. And we got the front bumper in from our parts car. Never paid $500 for just, I guess, not even half the bumper. But we only need this section of it right here. They're gonna go ahead and use this to go ahead and mold our bumper and repair it. So therefore, I gotta take this over to the bumper guy. You guys probably won't see this because he does this on the side. But we're gonna go ahead for now and replace this tie rod on the Lamborghini. And that way we can get this thing all straight and true and hopefully one step closer to driving. Tie rod is all complete. Everything's looking all straight. And look what came in. We've got our Volkswagen Audi coolant and also the same stuff that Lamborghini uses. We also got the airlift pump. That way we can make sure there's no air bubbles. Makes bleeding cooling systems a breeze. And that tie rod install was super simple. Just like any other ordinary car. Let's go ahead and bleed this cooling system. Alright, cooling system is all bled. We actually have coolant in the reservoir tank. If you come all around over here, you can see how this thing's floating, our little floater. That means we got coolant in there. And we use about 4.5, I guess you could say gallons. European conversion, maybe 5 liters. I don't know, my math might be off. But we're gonna start this thing up, let it run with that cap off, put the heat on high, and everything should be good to go. As soon as that thermostat opens, I'm probably, from experience, gonna see that coolant level drop down a little bit and we'll add a little bit more. But cooling system test is a blast, all good to go. Not that hard.
It's pretty simple, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, it was just like any other ordinary car.
I mean, that vacuum tool worked really cool.
Best tool ever.
Yeah, and you probably didn't pay that much for it at the end of the day.
I think 150 bucks. Amazon Prime.
Worth every penny, guys.
Go get it.
Where's your seat at?
There's no seat right now. It's at the upholstery shop. So we made our own seat.
Oh, that looks comfortable.
Hopefully we get it back. If not, we'll just keep driving like this.
That's all you need, right?
We don't even have a seatbelt because you took off the seatbelts.
You don't need that.
Imagine getting pulled over like this.
What the heck are you doing?
Making a funnel. I learned from you.
Oh, yeah.
This is redneck engineering at its finest.
One of the finest tricks you could ever use, guys.
Oh yeah, hey, it works. And any other funnel that we use right now is going to be too small or it's going to be too big, and this will fit in there perfectly.
Oh, yeah.
So
It works great when you're in a pinch.
oh yeah, always. Watch this. So, then you can just hold this, fill it up, and you're good to go.
Like a glove.
That sounded so good. This is idle right now, guys. I am super excited. What do you think, man? How did it sound?
I can't hear anything after that. That thing was popping like crazy, man.
Wow. What was the sweet spot? 6,000?
6,000 to like 6,300 RPMs.
Whew. If you guys are here in person, that exhaust started hurting my ears. Like, my ears are ringing right now.
Yeah, that hurt really bad, honestly.
Imagine under load on the street, just flying. In Mexico, of course.
Yeah, of course.
Oh, man.
The neighbors are gonna love it.
Hey,
In
no
Mexico.
HOA. We have over, I think we got 8 acres or so, and we're good.
Yeah, no one's gonna hear it.
No HOA farmland right here. What are you working on?
Trying to get the seatbelt all back together. Now the interior is definitely the fun part for sure.
Dang, so the retractor works now?
Works like a charm.
Oh, man.
gotta-
There you go.
Button it in down here and we're all good to go.
Sweet. Safety Restore always does a phenomenal job.
It's real comfy in here without the seat though. You got plenty of room to work.
It's a lot easier, isn't it?
Oh yeah. You probably wouldn't be able to do this without the seat in there.
I don't think so. I mean, the way you have everything in there, all this paneling has to like come out with the seat either all the way forward and you don't have any room, or
You can't stick your head back here in the seats like that either, you know?
exactly. the time has finally come. We are gonna go ahead and start the prep work on this side. Just go ahead and wet sand everything down, 600 grit, put some sealer, base coat, get that rocker panel also prepped, and then we're gonna paint the bumper when we get it back from the repair shop, because the bumper is still a couple weeks out getting repaired. We could always paint that off the car anyways. So I really want to get some paint on this thing. Let's pull this thing outside so we can get more natural light on it and get this thing prepped up and into the booth. Well guys, you saw it for yourself. This paint job turned to be awesome. I mean, we had the fender unclipped, that way the clear coat could roll over the edge. Same thing with the rear bumper. I did the same thing. You always want to make sure clear coat rolls over the edge. Once again, if you guys are wondering what paint we use actually the global paint system. PPG makes it. We use PPG paints, products, sealers, and all that. And just to let you know, Global mixes the paint, and it's $597 for 1 pint of it. Lots of metallics and gold pearls in there, and this paint job just turned out to be perfect. But guys, that is all the time we have left for today's video. I really hope you guys are enjoying how the Lamborghini Huracan build is coming together. Everything on this paint job went absolutely perfecto. It was absolutely slicked in, and I'm so excited to announce to you guys that we are going to take this thing one step further and give this thing a show car quality finish by cut, buff, 3-step polishing this Huracan behind me, and then we still got to assemble the whole thing. That way we can get one step closer to hit the road. But make sure you guys are subscribed. Make sure you guys are actually turning on your post notifications so you guys can see the next video pop out. Like this video, share it away, and if you have something to add, drop it down in the comments. Until then, guys, we'll see you on the next one. Peace.